Williams across the timeline, has a high ball screen by Morgan. He slips the screen out to Sejan, fires the three, got it. Second three of the game for Connor. And Wooster out-scraps everybody, wrestles the ball away. It's a 3-on-2. Wooster lobbing. Mia dunks with two hands. Great delivery by Wooster. And that energizes the crowd. Another three by Connor. Sejan is red hot from three-point land. Missed it. Rebound Morgan. 3 seconds to go. Long pass. Eulis gets it off. Got it! A three. One step across the timeline. Bang! A ring. Aaron Eulis. How about that? There's the horn. There's the game. Huskers win it 96-79. That's the final score.
Welcome into the Nebraska Basketball Show. Jessica Coody here with the head coach, Fred Hoiberg. Well, Coach, a tough one at Michigan State over the weekend. What kind of bounce back are you looking for out of your guys following that one?
Yeah, we need to respond. Obviously, that was a very poor performance. Toughness really bothered me in that game. And then when things started going in the wrong direction, we didn't respond well. And practices, you know, it's all about the process. It's all about growing, getting better. These things happen in this league, unfortunately, and I think Michigan State's as good as anybody in our conference right now. So, big one coming up, and, we'll see how our guys respond.
You know, when things start to snowball, how do you avoid the snowball effect?
Well, I mean, we had that thing cut to 6, and then they scored the last 2 baskets of the half to push it up to 10. I thought that, the flagrant call on Connor was not right, but it happened. And, I just thought the discipline of our team, we'd been really good defending without fouling. That's kind of been, one of the main things with this defense is to not put teams on the line and give them free points. And I thought we fouled, we were careless in that regard. And then when that thing, it was a big play where we didn't get a loose ball, they hit a 3 to get it to 13 as opposed to us coming down, cutting it to 7 or 8, and then it just went the wrong direction the rest of the time. And, that can't happen. When you have a couple bad things happen, adversity is going to hit you, and how you respond to it ultimately will determine what kind of success you have, and obviously we did not respond well.
We are going to go back and talk about the Michigan State game, but up next we're going to go back to the South Dakota win and take a look at those highlights. Keep it here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. We're going back to November 27th to take a look at the highlights for the Huskers and the Huskers win over South Dakota 96-79, but really got off to a great start offensively right from the tip.
Yeah, good first play right there. We knew they were going to come double team us and get Braxton an empty roll to the basket. I thought we were really good on the glass. There's possessions early in the game that I think set the tone, and I thought Burke did a great job getting that offensive rebound. Also got on the floor in some 1-on-4 situations. They were going to press us, we knew that, and if we got Braxton flattened out, we felt we could get him some good looks and some lobs on the back end, and I thought our guys really did a good job attacking the press, taking care of the ball, and then Connor had an unbelievable night going for a career high, I believe 29 points in this game, and I give our guys a lot of credit for finding Connor in transition on a lot of those baskets.
You guys hit a season high 13 three-pointers, nearly 40%. It was great to see it going from the outside in this one.
Yeah, we'd struggled a lot going into this game, and we needed to see that thing go in the hoop. And it wasn't just Connor. Once he hit a few, then it was Bryce that got it going, and really everybody. So it's just amazing how when you make 1 or 2 early, just what that does for guys' confidence, and hopefully that we'll get back to it. We had 2 games in a row where we hit double-digit threes, struggled at Michigan State, but obviously game's a lot easier when the ball's going in the basket.
You mentioned Braxton Mia. He was 6 for 6 from field goal, 12 points. He's pretty efficient down there.
Yeah, when you can get him looks by again, we knew they were going to press us, which was going to lead to them helping up, and we felt if we played under control, playing off 2 feet, that would get the opportunity to get him some lobs. Good job finding Gavin right there in transition, and then a really good duck-in play right there by Burke to get Bryce downhill and turning the corner at the basket.
You guys have been really good about getting steals but then converting on the other end. Why is that?
Yeah, we've had good activity with our hands for the most part all season, and it's one thing when you're struggling to score, you have to manufacture points, and we've done a solid job of that, creating turnovers and then also getting to the free throw line.
So Connor Sejan again, career high 29.6 of 15 from 3-point. That was also a career high, but he also passed the ball well with 5 assists, which was also a career high.
Yeah, good sign for Connor. And I thought we played under control for the most part all game long. Great little pass right there by Connor, getting Sam an easy one in transition. And again, that's what we knew going into this one. And then, the shot by Aaron leading going into halftime, that's obviously a great momentum builder.
Yeah, I was going to say, gives you guys some great momentum going into halftime, but man, nothing ignites a crowd like a half-court shot at the buzzer.
Yeah, good job by our guys recognizing as well, with about a second left to throw that ahead, and Aaron being able to get that thing off before the buzzer.
And Connor Esijan picks up where he left off, and there's one of those assists we were talking about.
Yeah, good job again, playing off 2 feet, playing under control, and finding Braxton. And then again, Connor getting behind the defense, not just from the three-point line. Raleigh with a great under control, throw ahead pass. And that's the thing I was really pleased with. We just, we took care of the ball, and we capitalized on the other end.
Raleigh Wooster had 6 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. He's a guy that can do everything. He can stuff the stat sheet.
Yeah, you look at his, he'll be a 1,000-point, 500 assist, 500 rebound guy when it's all said and done. And there's not, in fact, it'd be the first player in Nebraska history to put up those types of numbers. He just does a little bit of everything for you out there on the floor.
I did want to go to Connor here. What allowed him to really get going in this game?
Well, a lot of it was the way they were playing, and when you get free as a shooter, if you can hit those first couple, it makes that basket look a lot bigger. And once he hit a few in transition, then that thing just opened up for him. And then he started hitting a couple contested ones as well. Another good job converting a turnover into points right there by Sam. And, this is a team that's got some talent. And, I think they're going to be a solid team in the Summit League. And another great play by Raleigh right there, and Braxton with a big finish.
Sam is really good. You said he grades out as one of the better defenders, but he seems to make one of those plays on the defensive end, convert it to the offensive end almost every single game.
He does, yeah, and he is, from an analytic standpoint, he's our top defensive guy. He and Burke actually are the top two on the team at the current, at this moment. And, again, when you need to be able to get some of those easy ones, especially if you're not making shots.
This would make it 17 straight at home. Man, how important is that? You guys stress that a lot, protecting the home court.
Yeah, it's so important. Our league is very hard to win on the road. So, it's for non-conference, you have to take care of that. We have a couple more opportunities in the non-conference, one at home, a game right before the new year, and then it's all conference from there. So it's important. You got to be able to take care of your home court. We've got one of the best home court advantages in the country.
All right, we got to step aside for a break. Coming up next, we're going to go back and revisit the first Big Ten game of the season at Michigan State. Keep it here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. That was a look at Inside the Numbers presented by Ide Bailey. All right, let's go to East Lansing and at Michigan State for the first Big Ten conference of the season. Michigan State opens up with a 7-0 run here to start this one. Yeah,
in these early games, this is an 11 a.m. Central Time start, and you got to get off to good starts in these early games. That sets the tone. Most of the time, teams that get off to the better start ended up on top on these games. Now we got to go in a little bit after they built a double-digit lead on us, and like I said, cut that thing down to 6. But just, not enough. Their physicality overwhelmed us, their speed, and they absolutely crushed us on the glass. So, not a good recipe. Great play by Raleigh here. We talked a lot about this, playing under control, 2 feet in the paint, making the kick out. Another good job right there, getting that thing. And Aaron, again, under control, 2 feet, making that play to Andrew. But, the way they collapse, the way they get out in their pick and rolls, we thought we could get them in the pocket. We just didn't make enough plays. This situation, we can't gamble and go for that. If you have to get it. And we didn't. Again, too many breakdowns. Andrew Morgan, I thought, was a bright spot for us. We did a good job getting the ball to him on the block. Shots were not falling very well. Great little slip out right there against their aggressive pick and roll defense to get the and one. And again, you see us chipping away, trying to get back into it. I think this cuts it to 7 and, hit a couple more after that. But unfortunately did not finish the half the way we needed to.
Andrew Morgan plays so hard. And especially in this one, you saw it with 14.7 boards.
And he's going against, legit 7-footers. And they start big, and bring Cohen Carr off the bench, who I think is the best athlete maybe in the country, not only in our league. And, those guys pose real problems for offensive players. But I thought Andrew was very aggressive down there, and it was good to see him get it going on the block.
In the first half, every time Michigan State made a run, it seemed like your guys would respond, and certainly did here to close out the first half.
We did. We're right there. That cut it to 8, and then we made one more basket to cut it to 6. But like I said, they scored the last 2 baskets, get a little momentum, and then they just threw a haymaker at us coming out here at the beginning of the second half. We talked about the importance of the first 5 minutes, and they took control. I love that play by Burke, being the first on the floor. We just didn't have enough of those plays over the 40 minutes.
Great to have him back in uniform. When you talk about the physicality, how do you respond to that in a game when a team's more physical than you?
Well, you got to respond in practice. That's what you do. You try to simulate what you're up against. Our scout team did a really nice job. They gave us a great look all week. I talked about this after the game. I didn't think our prep was as sharp as it had been and where it needed to be, and we got exposed again right from the start. You saw that digging a hole in the first half. East Lansing is one of the great venues in our sport. Missed rotation right there. We just didn't have that crispness and sharpness that we'd had. You look at the Creighton game, you look at those last 2 against South Dakota, North Florida. I thought we were really good and taking steps in the right direction. We definitely took a step back in this one.
It's 4 of 22 from three-point in this one for the Huskers, and you guys got out-rebounded for the first time this season, and Michigan State capitalized on some offensive boards, 17 second chance points.
Yeah, they destroyed us on the glass, and going into this building, you talk about 2 things that you have to execute against Michigan State. It's getting back in transition, and it's matching physicality on the glass. It's what's made Tom Izzo who he is. It's what made that program what it is, and we just did not go out there and make enough plays.
We hit on this a little bit, but how do you expect your guys to respond in practice with another week leading into before the Friday game against Indiana?
Yeah, this is a good time to have a week like this. I didn't love a week after the last one, after North Florida, because I really liked the rhythm and the way we were playing, and it was almost like we exhaled and just took our foot off the gas. But we need some time to try to get that toughness factor back and hopefully go out and compete against a really good Indiana team.
All right, got to get to a break here on the Nebraska Basketball Show. Coming up next is this week's Cornhusker Conversation. I sit down with Raleigh Wooster. Keep it here. Welcome back to the Nebraska Basketball Show. It's time for this week's Cornhusker Conversation presented by Woodhouse. This week, I got a chance to sit down with senior point guard Raleigh Wooster.
Wooster comes the other way for the Big Red. Playing point guard, driving the ball, left-handed finish.
Take us through the decision when you decided to transfer, what you were looking for, and why you landed on Nebraska.
Yeah, I think I just wanted a spot where I'd have a good opportunity for my last year to grow my game and win at the highest level. And I think I have that here. And I think just for me, being able to develop my game, my shot, and playing a fast-paced offense, talking with Coach Hoiberg and the rest of the staff, that's what they see in me and see in the team as well.
What people might not know, they might not know, is that you actually were pretty familiar with Nebraska, right? Growing up, you had some fans in the family.
Yep, oh yeah, family is diehard Nebraska fans, especially football growing up, but most sports really. So it's cool to just be here, kind of surreal moment when I committed, just talking with my grandpa and dad and everybody, but I think the family's all excited.
What did your grandpa say when you said, okay, I think I'm going to be a Husker?
Well, he told me before, as soon as I finished my visit, what his choice would be. So,
and what was that?
Here, for sure. Yeah, he definitely knew what he would have done, and really just the kind of stars aligned with it, and it was perfect as soon as I finished my visit.
For being a veteran guard and Coach Hoiberg just really raved about your leadership and what you brought immediately. How did you approach that coming into a new team and wanting to be a leader, but then also, getting to know the team as well?
Yeah, I think I do pretty well with the vocal stuff and getting along with teammates. I think our team gets along great, and part of that's to the coaching staff and everyone involved who makes us do stuff in the community and gives us opportunities to hang out as a team. But I think once I learned the basics, it was pretty easy for me. At first, obviously, you're a little quieter trying to figure out the offense, the defense, what we want, that type of stuff. But once I got the hang of it, and I think that's with a lot of our transfers, we're all comfortable now. So it's pretty easy, pretty open floor for you to speak and talk, and they really like that as a staff too, player input as well.
Coach also really raved about your versatility and as a guard, what you're able to bring, and whether it's getting a big board at a certain time or whatever it might be. How did that develop for you where you weren't just a point guard, you're not just bringing up the ball, but that all phases of the game you could contribute in?
Yeah, I think just growing up with my dad and family and everyone, just playing a complete game. I think I always wanted to rebound, play hard defense, pass, score, really do everything. I didn't want to be one-dimensional in that aspect, and I think my dad instilled that in me. And my trainer back home, Steve Pitts, and Grandpa, and really everybody, that's kind of how they approach the game. And so I think I naturally kind of came into the game that way, and that's how I've always played.
You weren't just a star basketball player, you played football as well, two-way football player, all-state. How was that in Montana, playing both and being good at both, I guess?
Yeah, it was fun. I still love football. I love watching it. I don't really miss it, especially when it gets colder and see the big hits, but I think that helped my game a lot, and I think it was just fun to be able to be a multi-sport athlete in high school, and they definitely complement each other, so definitely missed it a little bit, but glad I chose basketball.
How do you go about approaching this season for yourself, the last one, and what you want to bring to Nebraska and wearing that uniform?
I think for me, just keep playing hard and play my game. I think it'll show all the work I've been putting in and my teammates have been putting in, and just super excited, and I want to win. I want to win bad, so that's the goal.
Well, he comes from a family of Husker football fans, but what does that veteran presence at the point bring for you guys here this season?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed coaching Raleigh. He's all about the right things, and when you bring a kid on a visit, you learn a lot about him, and all he talked about was helping the team win, and in talking to people that have been around him, previous coaches, previous schools, that's all they talked about was he does whatever it takes to help the team get on top, and he's been phenomenal for this team. Leadership, goes out there, runs the show. He's a calming presence on the floor, and he's really solid on the defensive end. So I'm happy for Raleigh. He's in a place I think that he really likes. You see him in the Husker gear as a kid growing up, and I do think he's enjoying his last year.
Great stuff. All right, we got to get to a break here. Coming up next, final thoughts from Coach Hoiberg, and we preview what's ahead for Husker basketball. Keep it here. Welcome back. Got time for a final quick thought from Coach Hoiberg. Coach, you got another Big Ten matchup and then the Diamond Head Classic in Honolulu. How important is this stretch for your group?
Very important stretch. You want to take care of your home court. We did that last year. We were 10-0 in PBA, in league games, and then 3 very important games. A lot of teams have already played their multi-team event, and for us it's a little bit later with the Christmas tournament in Hawaii. It's a good, I like this trip for us. It's a good time for us to bond and get together and spend a lot of time with each other heading into the last 18 games of conference play.
Well, we won't be back until after that, back in January, so have a happy holiday season, and thanks for watching the Nebraska Basketball Show.